Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss any of the tutorials that I'll be sharing with you. This journal spread sees me using image transfers, and one of the easiest ways to use image transfers is to use packing tape. So this is what I've used for this tutorial and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Just before I let you go, don't forget to look in the description box below where you'll see the details for my free online mixed media class, Play with Black. Come and join me on the dark side of mixed media. I know that you're going to learn to love the colour black. So without further ado, let's get straight on to the tutorial. So I'm placing the packing tape over the top of my image. This is an image that I've taken from Flow magazine, so I'm hoping that it's going to transfer really nicely. I'm covering the whole image with different pieces of packing tape, and then I'm burnishing the back of it with a spoon. Popping it here into some warm water. It doesn't have to be warm water, but it's just a little bit kinder on your hands, and I'm just going to put it to one side and leave it to soak. So I've taken some tissue papers here and I've just laid them out, just some scraps that I had in my stash, and I'm sticking them in a kind of a patchwork pattern all over my page. I'm using a Yoo-hoo glue stick here to stick them down, and now I'm going to add in some scribbles just over the top. This doesn't have to be any kind of legible scribbles, it can be anything at all really, and I like to make sure that my line below and my line above mix up, and it's really hard for people to read the messages, but I know what's hidden in there. I've taken some paint now and I'm just adding in some patches again. Instead of the tissue paper, I'm using my paint in like a patchwork design here. This is a technique I really love to use. I'm using different colours to create an ombre effect, and I'm using my square paintbrush here to create kind of little squares across the page with the different colours. One colour blends into the other and it really adds a lot of depth and interest to your page. So we're back to our image transfer now, and because I have 3 pieces of packing tape, it's going to split up, but I knew that it would do this and it's a great way to cover a larger image. Now the image came away very easily from the paper, much more easily than it normally does. I think that has something to do with the kind of paper that I used. It was quite a matte finish. The glossy finishes tend to stick a little bit more and you have to work harder to get the background off. So I'm just laying the packing tape over the top of the space here that I had left for it. I knew I wanted to have this part of the image white so that the packing tape transfer would show through. Now, studio lights and sellotape don't work too well together, so it is a little bit hard to see here in the video, but you'll see it better here in the images that I have for the stills of the finished page. Now because the packing tape has been in water, it's lost a lot of its stick, so you will need to give it an extra piece of glue to stick it down. I'm just using my Yoo-hoo glue stick, and as you can see here, I wasn't quite happy with where I had placed it, so I was able to still lift it up and move it across. Just be very gentle if you're doing this so that you're not damaging any of the layers underneath. Because my image didn't quite fit where I wanted it, I was left with a bit of a blank space. So I pulled out my masking tape and some of my washi tape and just popped it down to fill in that little blank space. It's really tied the page together, and I'm really glad in the end that this is what happened. So Liquitex paint markers, of course, it's my journal page after all, and I'm just adding in some extra marks here. I'm just using the flat edge of the paint marker to create my marks. Breaking out the oil pastels here, I love to use them as one of the final layers on my page. They go over anything and they just really add that extra little pop. So of course it wouldn't be a Karen spread if there wasn't some found poetry on there, so I'm just adding in that to just finish off my page and tie the whole thing together.